Okay, so this is the screen that you see when you want to unlock the tests for the benchmark comparison, which I showed you before how to do. So let's take a look at my 8th graders because some of them have not completed the benchmark score. So you're going to want to use the drop-down menus. There is a math option because Tom Stilley uses this for math. You always want to make sure that you're at reading, the fall 2018, and click view or refresh. So you can see some of them have finished, some have not. Like Nathan, one of my students over at Mellon, he has to do his oral reading fluency in order to get this composite score. Up here is where you see how they scored on each portion of the benchmark: the vocabulary, the silent reading fluency, and the reading comprehension. When we monitor, we only monitor using oral reading fluency and silent reading fluency. Now, this happens sometimes where you will see NA because the student, they feel that they either took too long or sped through the assessment too fast, so they feel that it is not sufficient. If this happens, let me know, because then I assign a survey level assessment, which is essentially the same thing, the silent reading fluency, and it has them do it again so that we can get a valid starting score. Here's another warning that this one says something similar, that the score may not be valid when we're looking at this score of 300. So you will see Caleb and Therese have finished. So you once the student has finished all of the assessments, you can set the goals. Now, when you have this little icon here with the paper and the pencil, you're going to click on that, and it'll say administer ORF, and you're going to click yes. You then give the student the paper copy of the form for them to read. There are 2 1-minute reads for the benchmarks for all 3 grades. And this should be grade 8, form 1. It'll say at the bottom of the form, but you can always preview it by clicking preview, and it will show you which story they're working on. As they are reading, you're going to click any words that were errors, or you click this S if they skipped the entire line. At the end, it will say that it has been finished, and it will either say next if you are in the benchmark because you have to do a second story, or it will say score. Okay, so we're not really going to do that because he's not here to do his 1-minute read. And then you will get a warning for any student who the system says needs progress monitored. So for example, this Nathan, he was in the 8th percentile for oral reading fluency. Kenneth was in the 24th percentile for silent reading fluency, and Isaac, 8th percentile for silent reading fluency. However, I still do goals for all of the students because most of them have goals for their IEPs. So let's start with Nathan because he has finished. Yes, he has finished. And they say that he needs an oral reading fluency goal. I'm going to start with the silent reading fluency. Oh, I can't because he has an NA there. Let's go ahead and give him a silent or an oral reading fluency goal. So we click add goal. Now you can see the baseline here. This was his most recent score for his baseline. We do it weekly, and we are going to set the end date to May. I usually pick sometime around May, like the second week of May. That gives you time to get everything together. So we're going to monitor weekly. And over here, this is how you're going to set the goal. Okay, so you're going to keep clicking this plus until it says closes the gap. And that is where we start. So right now, his goal is only in the 9th percentile to close the gap. However, once he meets this goal, we can go in and adjust it and bump it up to like the 11th percentile. This prevents a lofty goal, like a student starting at the 8th percentile with the expectation that the 50th percentile be obtained by the spring. So this is always able to be edited throughout the school year. So we're going to click save. And then his goal is complete. Now you can't really see without scrolling over. Let's see. But it's over there. I think it's because I have all of these other tabs open. Okay, so same thing for Isaac. He needs a silent reading fluency goal. So again, we're going to make sure we make it for the same date. Okay. And we're going to increase this until we see closes the gap. Okay. And we're going to click save. Okay. Once he does his SLA, I'll be able to do a goal for him. So this right here is a little progress bar that kind of like goes up and gets shaded in as they're approaching their goal. Right. Now, when we go to the drop-down menu, you're going to go to monitor, and this is where you can do the weekly monitoring. So right now, these two students are the only ones who are here because they're the only ones who have a goal. Nathan has the oral reading fluency goal, and Isaac has the silent reading fluency goal. We are going to monitor all students on both silent reading fluency and oral reading fluency, regardless of what's in their IEP, just so that we can keep track of their performance. Okay, so once they are all completed and they have a goal, you can start to monitor. I still have, like, Tanner hasn't finished his, Steven hasn't finished his. So when that happens, when a student has to finish at another time, it's going to lock it, and you have to actually allow them to resume. So I'm going to do that now so that when Tanner logs in tomorrow, I don't have to log in and allow him to resume it. So let's see, Steven. I already resumed his for him. Okay, so once they have their oral reading fluency, we will be able to see all the scores and add goals. I just wanted to show you, before I got too far with adding all of my students' goals, how to do the goals. Now, if you are looking for a report on any of the students based on their benchmarks, this is very valuable information. I just shared it with Steph Gannick for a student who we don't even think needs the program. So you can go to student search, 8th grade, and let's see. We'll see if Simon has anything. So this is just like a snapshot of, it looks like he hasn't done, he won't do the math because he doesn't have Tom. But we can look at his student profile, see his name is there, and we can look at the scores snapshot. And this can be downloaded by exporting. It looks like I'm going to lose my Screencastify. All right, I'll show you this real quick, and then hopefully I can make a new video.